Everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 343. Larry here, and conspicuous by his absence is Anthony. He's, as usual, on the road. That's okay. I got a solo episode happening. It's going to be a short episode, almost like an airing of grievances, if you will. This might actually be my only time to be able to do something like this without Anthony on the show to stop me, actually. A lot happened since last episode, and a lot meaning my track record on this podcast has been nothing short of interesting, I guess, when it comes to purchasing new systems or purchasing these clone systems or really buying anything that just happens to go on pre-order. As we speak, I have the Analogue Duo, their TurboGrafx Duo on order, waiting for that. I just recently ordered and acquired the Analogue Pocket Glow in the Dark after already owning an original Analogue Pocket. I have, all the different systems. I've purchased the Atari 2600 Plus. I had on order a Polymega and Intellivision Amico or Mika. Both of those canceled for reasons that you can decide how you feel with my decisions on canceling those orders, but I did what I did. But this past week, almost mere moments after we were done recording, maybe within a day, after me and Anthony were done recording last week's episode, the one that we basically re-recorded, because the week before that episode, which we did, just wasn't able to be put together. That's why this is gonna be not hastily put together, but again, it's just me. So, I'm putting this up there. But just moments after or a day after we were done recording, I started getting messages from a lot of people. And this usually happens one of two reasons. Either A, some wrestler died, or B, some new system is being released. And since we've kind of gotten past some of the wrestling deaths from a few weeks ago or a month ago, end up being a new system. And Analogue, out of nowhere, announces these new translucent pockets mere weeks after delivering the glow-in-the-dark pockets. I was fit to be tied. I was not happy with this decision that Analogue made. I was so, because the reason being is because these translucent pockets are gorgeous. They look, they came in a whole ton of different colors. Orange, red, clear, green, smoke, blue, and purple. All translucent, so it's see-through. Very 90s. I have, in fact, you can't see, it's right off camera, and I can't afford to go and get it. But I have my clear analog, clear original Game Boy. That was the 90s. Everything in the 90s was basically like jail. Everything had to be clear plastic so you can see what's on the inside. I had a phone that was clear. What else did I have that was clear? I had a bunch of other things that were clear. I probably had a Walkman or a Discman. Probably a Walkman. That was clear. And I eventually got a Game Boy that was clear. So Pocket, Analogue, I should say, again, after announcing this glow-in-the-dark Analogue Pocket that they released, and I thought, at first, I thought it was very weird, glow-in-the-dark Analogue Pocket, but then after realizing what they were doing and what they were kind of giving an homage to, as far as the glow-in-the-dark Pocket, which was an homage to a glow-in-the-dark Game Boy Pocket that was released in Japan. Well, actually, that was a giveaway as a prize in Japan. So I'm like, all right, I'll pick that up. I already have a perfectly working Pocket. But the glow-in-the-dark really was more just kind of a collector's item. Just kind of different, niche, if you will. So I ordered it. and I got it. I was shocked to get it actually. I kind of went into that order as I mentioned on the podcast a couple. Actually, I don't know if it was really mentioned because kind of talked about it on the episode that got lost. I went into that order with the oh yeah, no, I mentioned because this was even weeks prior, and just wasn't expecting to get it. Wasn't expecting to be in the queue. Next thing I know, I'm in the queue. Next thing I know, they're asking for a payment information. So I was like, wow, I guess I'll pull the trigger on this one. So and I finally get the glow in the dark pocket, and I just opened it a week prior. So now it's fresh out of the box. And while it's still got that new pocket smell, out of nowhere, Analog announces these brand new translucent pockets that are shipping in 2 weeks after order. I cannot on this show repeat the message that I left on X for Analog with my disgruntled opinion about how just weeks after this glow in the dark pocket, they all of a sudden announced these translucent pockets. Because I totally would have bought one. This I would have done. This I would have bought because of all the colors, the clear, the translucent clear, that would have been my pick. That was going to be my go-to. And I totally would have gotten that. I would have probably ended at that point, I would have sold off my original analog pocket, probably, just try and recoup something. But to do it like weeks after already announcing, to back up for a second, Analog is not known to go back to back with system releases. As far as I know, it was probably a year or two in between when they decided to re-release their Mega SG and their Super NT, their Genesis and their Super Nintendos. And that's when I jumped in on Analog when they re-released those, because they also did a final run, quote unquote, of their NT Mini Noir, their bougie and NES, which I picked up. That was the first time I ordered Analog stuff. I ordered those 3 systems. Well, 2 systems. I actually got the Mega SG off of Jack. Because I didn't think, again, the way Analog works, you think once it's done, it's done. So I gotta say, it's a very bitter pill that Analog gave all of us with these translucent systems, because if they would have included the glow in the dark with the translucent, well, first of all, I think a lot of people would have ended up not buying the glow in the dark. I saw a lot of messages on Facebook, a lot of messages on X, and a couple of pocket groups that I'm in, Analog pocket groups that I'm in, being like, look, if I knew these were coming out, I totally would not have bought the glow in the dark pocket. And not only that, but as it usually goes with Analog, except for the Duo, as far as I know, the Duo is still available for pre-order. These things flew off the shelf. Actually, I'm in a group, Analog Pocket on Facebook, that had estimated, these are not exact times, but estimated sellout times for the colors. And this is how it went. Purple sold out in about 4 minutes. Smoke in about 6 minutes. Blue was gone in 7 minutes. My clear, which I actually did try just for fun, I did try and get my hands on, but it was sold out by the time my cart was ready to go. Clear was gone in 8 minutes, along with green, regular green, not glow in the dark green. Orange lasted a little longer with 10, and a lot of people don't like red because that sold out last in about 14 minutes. I did try. I wasn't gonna pull the trigger on. Well, who knows? Honestly, I don't know if I would have or not. But I definitely went through the motions anyway of trying to get one of these translucent systems, and I tried just for the clear. Was able, put it in I was able to put the system in my shopping cart, and this is what got limited run in bad graces with me. Analog has like their own, almost their own version, or they decide to use some weird, I don't know, updated version of the, verifying that you're a human. Now, normally that would involve either like clicking on all the crosswalks, clicking on all the mountains, click everything in this picture that's a motorcycle. This one, well, first of all, when I ordered the glow in the dark pocket, I had to click on, they had a picture. Now I'm sure it was random for everyone. Mine happened to be a duck. And it asked to click on the head of the duck. And every time you clicked on the head of the duck, the picture would rotate. So I'm like, all right, that's not the worst thing in the world, because I was actually using my laptop. If I was using my phone, I don't know how good that will. Actually, probably would have been fine with the phone. And then I got through that pretty quickly, and then I was able to purchase the glow in the dark. When I was doing this with the clear, it asked me to draw a box around the biggest item in the picture. And so yeah, I now this, I was using my phone at this point. I wasn't using my laptop. So I drew a box. It was either, and it varied. It was either an airplane, I think a cat or kitten, something else, went back to an airplane, might have been a boat, one of them. So I'm drawing a picture over the largest item, in the picture. And it kept saying incorrect, incorrect, incorrect. So I had to go through it like 5 or 6 times before I got it right. And to get it right, like, you really had to like just scratch the edges with this box that you're drawing. To really get it perfect. It was ridiculous. And then when I was finally through that, then I got to the checkout, and that's when it said, sorry, because I also threw a case in there, clear case, just in case I ended up buying this. That's when it said some of your items in your shopping cart are no longer available, which that I think is stupid. And I'll get into that in a second. But at that point, it's sold out. Now, again, I wasn't heartbroken because I wasn't really looking to do this. But that, to verify that you're a human is such a pain in the butt. And that's what holds up a lot. I'm sure held up a lot of people. That was like with Limited Run. Really wasn't the human part, but when I was trying to order Night Trap on Sega CD, it was a re-release. They asked, like, I'm checking out, and that right before I was ready to check out, they're like, oh, give us your phone number, input your phone number, so you can sign up, you can log in quicker for future purchases. I'm like, okay. So I put in my phone number, and that time putting the phone number in, all of a sudden someone virtually reached into my shopping cart and took the Sega CD game. And that was garbage. Now, since then, because of my complaints, probably, Limited Run has changed how they do their pre-orders. So the human aspect thing was garbage. I don't know if I would have gotten the clear anyway, even if I got through it quickly. Who knows? Maybe I mean, again, the clear, according to this, give or take, was sold out in 8 minutes. So I don't know. But I mean, shame on Analogue. I mean, they just released the Pocket, and then all of a sudden now, like, given a different option. I mean, we all know why they're doing it, because there are some people out there, myself included, who probably would have ended up purchasing one of these, even for no other reason as a collector's item. A lot of people are buying them to resell them, which is garbage in my opinion. But some people would collect them. So I don't know. Shame on Analogue, but I know some people were able to get some Pockets. I know some people couldn't get the colors they were looking for, so they had to settle for others. So hopefully that'll be okay. But also, I saw online, hopefully I can find the picture and pull it up, because some people were comparing, and even I kind of noticed something when I was getting ready to pull the trigger on the clear. The photos of when they first announced they were going on sale, they had like, what was it, 7 colors or whatever, kind of lined up in a row, and they were very bold colors. They were deep, rich colors. But then when you go to actually purchase the particular Pocket, the color wasn't so deep anymore. The color wasn't so bold, so bright, if you will. So now it's almost like, what version of the Pocket are they getting? Are they getting this rich, just bright blue translucent Pocket? Or are they getting like a kind of a washed down watery version of it? That we'll have to wait and see for another week or two. But look, again, I love my Analog Pocket. I love the original. I love the glow in the dark. And something weird, maybe someone out there who's a lot smarter than I am and knows a lot more about this stuff than I ever will. So what I did was, so obviously the glow in the dark is about a year and a half maybe older than the original OG Pocket, because I ordered like day one when they went on sale, the OG Pockets. So when I got the glow in the dark, I just popped the micro SD card out of my original Pocket and I just put it into the glow in the dark to update the firmware. So, all right, so it updates, does all that fun stuff. Now, I also have the cores and ROMs on that same SD card, which came straight out of the black Pocket, the original one, into the glow in the dark. Now, it is arranged in, you go and pick your core. The cores are in alphabetical order, which is fine. Then you go in there and you access your ROMs and stuff. And on the black analog Pocket, it just appears like that. But on the glow in the dark Pocket, and it'll probably do the same on the translucent ones, it actually categorized the cores into console, arcade, whatever, which I thought was very weird because it's the exact same firmware on the two systems. I'm guessing the open FPGA part of it might be newer, or is newer, clearly, on the Pocket, on the glow in the dark. So I don't know. I thought that one was kind of weird. So, but nevertheless, I only have my two Pockets here again. This is my glow in the dark green Pocket. The translucent is not as bright as this one. You cannot see the inside of this one, but I do like this one. I played it a couple times. Again, I don't know if it's really more just going to be more the collector's item. I've yet to charge it because, again, I don't really have a windowsill to put it on, and I don't want it to melt. But these are some great systems. So I have faith in Analogue, and hopefully they won't release any like new special editions or anything in the meantime. So, but that was kind of like just my grief. I really don't have much else to talk about because I want to wait for Anthony to come back. Our game of the week is Contra. Don't wait for him to come back so we can talk about that. And actually, speaking of which, with the way our schedules are going, I believe this weekend we're good to go, or for next week, I should say. In 2 weeks, we'll be on New York Comic-Con episode. I know I'll be there, so we'll see what's going on with that. And then, of course, we'll take it from there. I'm going to wrap this up again. It's a short episode. I just wanted to kind of jump on here, tell you about my struggles with Analogue, and hopefully people out there got your analogs, got your translucent Pocket. Tell me what color you got, and you can reach us everywhere you listen to the podcast. You can find us on Facebook at Retro Gamers Podcast, on Instagram at Retro Gamers Podcast, on X at Retro Gamers Pod, of course, on YouTube at Retro Gamers Podcast. You can email us, email at theretrogamers.com. On YouTube, please give us that thumbs up. Give us a like everywhere. Share the podcast. Let your friends and family know. And we'll be back next week with a full episode. And until then, I will catch you next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.